Okay, so blockchain, right? It's fascinating, but sometimes, well, it feels kind of like a secret club, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Today, we're unlocking the doors to TON. It's a blockchain that's seeing like crazy growth,
hmm
but it's also aiming to be like super user friendly. We're
Absolutely.
going to go deeper than just the hype and like figure out why TON is getting so much attention and also what makes it different from, the other blockchain players.
Yeah, for sure.
To help us on this deep dive, we have a fantastic interview from DeFi Dad's YouTube channel. He interviewed Elena,
Okay.
who is the ecosystem lead at the TON
Yeah,
Foundation,
right.
and she gives some really great insights into what's happening over at TON.
Yeah, and Tion's story is actually pretty interesting.
Okay.
It's got kind of surprising origins. It was actually initially a project from the Telegram team.
Wait, Telegram, like the messaging app?
Yeah.
I use that all the time.
Exactly, the one with like almost 1 billion users.
Wow.
But they ran into some regulatory hurdles with the SEC and had to officially abandon the project.
Okay, so that was it for TON, right? End of story.
You'd think so, but the community was not letting this go.
Oh, wow.
An independent group of developers was like, nope, we're taking over, keeping it going.
Really?
And it was a great example of the power of, decentralization.
That's pretty impressive, but hold on.
Yeah.
What about Telegram? Like, are they still involved at all?
Yeah, they are. Telegram and TON are now official strategic partners.
Okay.
TON is their official Web3 partner.
Interesting.
But it's really important to remember that Telegram doesn't control TON.
Gotcha.
They're separate entities.
Partnership, not ownership.
Exactly.
Cool. So let's talk about this like massive growth that everyone's buzzing about because Elena dropped some pretty big numbers.
Oh, yeah, she did. TON's total value locked, or TVL, saw a 50x increase this year,
50x.
going from $15 million to $750 million.
Whoa, that is a huge jump.
Yeah.
But for those of us who maybe aren't like total crypto experts, break down TVL for us.
Okay, sure.
Like, what does that even mean?
Basically, it's a good indicator of how much activity is happening on a specific blockchain.
Okay.
You can think of it as the total value of all the assets that are locked into, the different applications that are built on that specific blockchain.
Okay.
So the fact that TON's TVL has skyrocketed tells us there's a surge of interest and activity happening in that ecosystem.
Okay, so more money flowing in means more people using it.
Exactly.
Makes sense. So what's driving all of this growth?
Well, a couple of key factors.
Okay.
One major catalyst was the introduction of native USDT on TON.
Oh, okay, wait, back up. USDT, that's a stablecoin, right?
Exactly. Stablecoins like USDT are pegged to a more stable asset, like the US dollar. So their value doesn't fluctuate wildly like other cryptocurrencies might.
Okay.
They provide a little bit of a safe haven, for people who are new to crypto and might be a little bit wary of all the volatility.
So adding stablecoins essentially made TON more attractive to a wider audience.
Yeah, exactly. It opened the door for those who, maybe wanted to participate in the TON ecosystem, but just weren't comfortable with the risk of those big price swings.
Yeah. Interesting, because that seems to attract a different crowd than, your typical DCO enthusiast.
Yeah, definitely. TON is definitely going after a broader audience,
Okay.
and that's reflected in some of their other initiatives too.
Okay.
They have this program called the Open League,
Okay.
and it's been incredibly successful in driving engagement.
The Open League. So what's that all about?
Basically, think of it like a competition among, TON projects,
Okay.
teams that are building applications, protocols, even tokens.
Uh-huh.
They all compete for, significant prize pools based on how well their projects perform.
So incentivizes the developers to create high-quality projects?
Exactly. But it goes beyond that.
Okay.
What makes the Open League so unique is the transparency.
Right.
Anyone can track the metrics
Yeah.
and see how each project is doing.
Interesting.
No hidden agendas or backroom deals,
Okay.
which is a big deal in the crypto world where, transparency is often lacking.
Right, because that lack of transparency is a major barrier for a lot of people.
Big time.
So this Open League is about building trust.
That's a big part of it, but there's another element that's been really effective.
Okay.
The Open League also increases the rewards for users who provide liquidity to those winning projects.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like a win-win for everyone.
Exactly.
Developers get recognition, they get funding, users get higher rewards, and then the whole TON ecosystem benefits from this increased activity.
Precisely. It creates this really dynamic and engaging environment where everyone is motivated to, participate and contribute.
Yeah. That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
But also curious about TON's approach to onboarding.
Okay.
How are they making blockchain more accessible to like people who aren't already, really deep in that crypto world?
Yeah.
Because honestly, a lot of blockchain applications could be kind of intimidating, right?
Yeah, they are. And you're right. TON is tackling that head on with some like really innovative approaches.
Okay.
Elena mentioned a few examples that were particularly fascinating.
Okay, I'm all ears. Tell me about them.
One example she gave was this game called Notcoin.
Not coin. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was a brilliant onboarding strategy, but disguised as like a simple game.
Oh, interesting.
Players would click a coin on their screen.
Easy enough.
And that was the genius of it.
Okay.
By clicking the coin, players were introduced to all these different TON products and services.
Good.
They'd complete little quests, learn about things like wallets and transactions,
Uh-huh.
all without even really realizing that they were being onboarded, into this blockchain ecosystem.
So they gamified the learning process.
Exactly.
Oh, cool.
And they incentivized it, too.
Okay.
The average airdrop for Notcoin participants was like around $200.
Wow, that's a pretty good incentive to click a button.
Yeah.
Are there other examples of this kind of like gamified onboarding?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Hamster Combat is another popular one.
Aye.
It's a game where you build and manage your own crypto exchange using cards and combos.
Wow.
It's fun, it's addictive,
Yeah.
but it also subtly introduces players to like core DeFi concepts,
Oh.
like liquidity pools and decentralized exchanges.
So it sounds like TON is really trying to change the perception of blockchain
Yeah.
from like this complex, intimidating thing to something that's fun, accessible, and engaging.
Absolutely, they are. And like Katzen is another great example of this. It's a
Oh.
game where you breed and collect these like adorable digital cats,
Okay.
all powered by TON's blockchain technology.
I have to admit, I'm a sucker for like cute digital cats.
Right. And
Yeah.
it just shows how TON is like integrating blockchain into everyday activities
Yeah.
in a way that feels natural and engaging. They're not just targeting, crypto enthusiasts.
Uh-huh.
They're building for everyone.
Okay, so TON is clearly making waves with this like user-friendly approach. But let's take a look under the hood for a sec. What about the technology itself?
Okay.
What makes TON stand out? Like from a technical perspective.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, TON is a layer 1 blockchain.
Yeah.
Think of it as kind of a foundational platform like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Okay.
But what sets TON apart is its focus on speed and scalability.
Okay.
And they achieve this through something called sharding.
Sharding. Okay, remind me, how does that work?
Imagine you have this huge database that's just getting overloaded with requests.
Okay.
Sharding is basically like splitting that database into these smaller, more manageable chunks,
Uh-huh.
each handled by its own server.
Okay.
So this way, instead of one server trying to process everything,
Right.
you have multiple servers working in parallel,
Oh, yeah.
which drastically increases, the network's capacity and speed.
So like if other blockchains are like these single lane highways that get congested really easily,
Yeah.
TON is like this multi-lane
Yeah.
super highway designed for like high-speed traffic.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, cool.
And it means that TON can handle a much higher volume of transactions
Okay.
without sacrificing speed or efficiency.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about like the developers?
Right.
Is TON easy to build on?
Good question.
I know some blockchains have this reputation of being pretty complex.
You're right, they do. And TON does have its own unique set of programming languages.
Okay.
Tact and Fifth.
Tag to fix.
Yeah, and they're different from the languages used on other blockchains.
Oh.
So there can be a little bit of a learning curve for developers coming from, those other ecosystems.
It's not exactly plug and play for devs.
Not quite, but TON is acutely aware of this.
Okay.
And they're actively investing in improving their documentation,
Okay.
providing more resources, building tools to just try to make that development process easier.
Okay.
They want to make TON as developer-friendly as possible
Makes sense.
to attract the best talent and foster that, diverse, thriving ecosystem.
Yeah, the more developers building on TON, the more like, innovative applications and services will emerge.
For sure.
But let's shift gears a little bit and talk about like the future.
Okay.
With all this growth, with all this ambition, what's next for TON?
Right.
What are some of the key challenges that they're facing, and how are they planning to address them?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
And as with any ambitious project, especially in the blockchain space, there are definitely challenges ahead. But from what Elena shared, TNON seems to be taking this very strategic and long-term approach to kind of, navigating these challenges.
So what are some of those key challenges?
Okay.
And what's their game plan?
Well, one of the biggest focuses right now is building a robust and sustainable DeFi ecosystem.
DeFi, that's decentralized finance, right?
Yeah.
Essentially like taking traditional financial services like lending, borrowing, trading,
Yeah.
and putting them on the blockchain.
Exactly. And TON sees DeFi as like this crucial driver of growth and utility within their ecosystem. They're actively encouraging DeFi projects, providing incentives for developers to build in this space, fostering innovation.
Because if you want people to use your blockchain,
Right.
you need to give them like useful and compelling things to do on it.
That's the key. But attracting users is only half the battle, right?
Right.
Retaining them, building that loyal and engaged community.
Yeah.
That's the real challenge, and that's where sustainability comes in.
Right. Because you can't rely on like hype and short-term incentives forever.
Exactly.
What are they doing to ensure that the TON ecosystem can thrive in the long run?
That's a big focus for them, They're looking beyond just attracting users and capital. They want to create a system where projects can succeed and sustain themselves organically without this, constant reliance on external incentives.
So they're building for the long haul.
Yes.
But what does that look like in practice?
Well, it involves several things.
Okay.
Encouraging high-quality projects that provide real value to users, fostering a strong and supportive community, and constantly innovating to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But there's one more, massive piece of the puzzle we can't ignore.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah.
Telegram, right?
Yeah.
That potential user base is still looming large.
It is, and TON is actively exploring ways to, leverage the power of that connection.
Okay.
Imagine if they can seamlessly integrate TON-based apps and services into the Telegram experience.
Wow.
Offering users this, smooth and intuitive way to interact with blockchain technology.
Yeah, that would be a game changer.
It would.
There's also a delicate balance, right?
Oh, for sure.
You don't want to alienate those Telegram users who may not be interested in blockchain.
Right.
It has to feel natural, optional, not forced.
Exactly. It's about finding that sweet spot where blockchain integration just enhances the Telegram experience,
Okay.
adds value without disrupting, what people already love about the platform.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge that they're, actively working on.
Okay, so TON has a lot on their plate. Building a sustainable DeFi ecosystem, making blockchain more accessible,
Yeah.
figuring out how to leverage this Telegram connection.
Exactly.
It sounds like they're tackling some, pretty big questions.
They are, and how they navigate these challenges will ultimately determine, their long-term success.
Yeah.
But one thing's for sure,
What's that?
it's a fascinating time to be watching the TON ecosystem evolve.
It really is. It feels like we're witnessing the early stages of something potentially groundbreaking.
Yeah, it does.
But I'm also curious about the broader implications here.
Okay.
What does the success of a project like TON mean for the future of blockchain as a whole?
That's a great question, and it gets to the heart of why this deep dive is so important.
Okay.
TON's journey, their successes and challenges
Yeah.
offer these valuable insights into the future of, blockchain technology.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second, talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
What are some of the potential impacts of a project like TON, on the wider world?
Well, for starters, TON could play a significant role in making financial services more accessible and affordable for millions of people around the world, particularly those who are underserved by, traditional banking systems.
Right, because blockchain has the potential to break down those traditional barriers and create a more inclusive financial system.
Exactly. Imagine a world where anyone with a smartphone can access secure, transparent, and low-cost financial tools.
Wow.
Regardless of their location or, economic background.
Yeah.
That's the kind of impact TON could have.
That's a powerful vision.
Yeah.
And it's not just about finance, is it?
No, not at
But
all.
blockchain has implications for so many other areas of our lives.
It does. And TON is pushing the boundaries of what's possible with blockchain technology.
Yeah.
They're experimenting with new applications, creating these innovative solutions, inspiring a whole new generation of developers.
It's like a catalyst for innovation.
Yeah.
fostering like creativity and collaboration on this global scale.
Absolutely.
And then there's the community aspect.
Yes.
TON has demonstrated like this incredible power of decentralized communities to drive innovation, support this shared vision, and create something truly meaningful.
It's a reminder that blockchain is more than just technology. It's about people coming together to build a better future.
Exactly. And that sense of shared purpose, that collective energy, that's what makes the TON ecosystem so compelling.
It really is.
All right, deep divers, we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah, we have.
We've explored the origins of TON, its impressive growth, the unique technology behind it, the challenges it faces, and the incredible potential it holds.
It's been quite a journey, but as with any deep dive, we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
There's so much more to explore and discover within the TON ecosystem.
And that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning of TON's story, and it's definitely a story worth following.
It is.
So if you're intrigued by what you've heard today and you want to learn more, we highly recommend checking out the toton.org website and following the TON blockchain on Twitter.
Great resources.
Yeah, they've got tons of information and resources to help you dive deeper.
They do.
And who knows, maybe you'll be inspired to build the next killer app on the TON blockchain.
It could be you.
The possibilities are truly endless.
They are.
Well said. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me.
Yeah, me too.
And I hope it sparked your curiosity about TON and the incredible potential of blockchain technology in general.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure diving deep with you.
Likewise.
So, as always, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep. It's been great.
It has.
And it's clear that TON is like really proactive and thoughtful about building a blockchain ecosystem that's not just, innovative, but also sustainable and accessible.
Absolutely.
But let's be real for a sec. There are always challenges, right?
Oh, yeah, always.
Especially with something as like disruptive as blockchain.
Of course. And TON is no exception.
Right.
They're facing, the same hurdles as a lot of these blockchain projects.
Okay.
Security, regulations, scalability, it's all kind of ongoing.
Right. Those are the big ones that always come up
when
we talk about the future of blockchain.
For sure.
So how is TON approaching these things?
Well, when it comes to security, they're not taking any chances.
Okay.
Elena really emphasized that they're doing all these rigorous audits, working with, reputable firms and constantly updating their systems to stay ahead of those potential threats.
Makes sense. Security is like paramount.
It is.
Especially in the world of finance.
Yeah, absolutely.
People need to feel confident that, their assets are safe.
Right.
What about the whole regulatory landscape? That can be tricky, right?
It can be a bit of a minefield for sure.
Yeah.
And TON knows that. They're being super proactive, engaging with regulators, being transparent about what they're doing, working to make sure they're operating within those existing legal frameworks.
That seems smart. It's better to work with them than against them, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're aiming for mainstream adoption.
Exactly.
It's about finding that balance between, innovation and compliance.
Yeah.
Paving the way for the future where blockchain tech is like respected and an important part of the global economy.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges. But I want to zoom out again.
Okay.
What's the potential impact of something like TON?
Right.
Like, if they are successful, what could that mean?
That's the really exciting part. TON has the potential to fundamentally change how we think about, money, tech, even community.
Wow. Okay, break that down.
Okay.
What could that look like?
Well, practically speaking, TON could make financial services so much more accessible and affordable for, millions of people globally, especially those who are excluded from those traditional systems.
Yeah, because blockchain has that power to, cut out the middleman.
Exactly.
Create a more equitable system.
Right. Imagine a world where anyone, literally anyone with a smartphone, can access these secure, transparent financial tools.
Okay.
It doesn't matter where they are, their income, their credit history.
Yeah.
That's the kind of power we're talking about.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And it goes beyond just finance, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Blockchain has implications for so many things.
It really does. And TON is pushing those boundaries. They're experimenting with new apps, creating new solutions, inspiring this whole new generation of developers.
It's like a breeding ground for innovation, fostering creativity, collaboration globally.
It is. And then you bring back in that community aspect.
Yeah, right.
TON has shown how powerful these decentralized communities are.
They really have.
For driving progress, supporting a shared vision.
It's a good reminder that blockchain is more than just, the tech.
Yeah.
It's a movement.
It is.
It's about people coming together to build something better.
A better future, a more equitable, decentralized world.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
It is.
This deep dive has been amazing.
Yes.
We've explored TON, from the beginning, their rise, the tech, the challenges.
It's been a fascinating journey, and like we keep saying, we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
There's so much more to discover.
It's clear that TON is like a project worth paying attention to.
Definitely.
They're pushing boundaries, and their vision for the future is, it's inspiring.
It is.
So if you're curious, go check out ton.org.
Yes.
Follow TON Blockchain on Twitter.
Great resources.
Yeah, they've got a ton of info to help you learn more.
They do.
And hey, maybe you'll be inspired to build the next big thing.
You never know.
On the TON blockchain.
The future of TON is being written right now. It's an open invitation.
I love that.
Yeah.
So to wrap up, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep